I'll be your host. Uh, our guest for today is Arunachaleshwari, who just said that we can call her Aruna. A brief introduction about her. So she is from Texas, USA, married with two kids, blessed with a family, happy family. She says growing up, she was devoted to Ramana Maharshi's teachings, and spirituality has always been a part of her life. She discovered Patriji's teachings through YouTube in 2019 and started practicing Anapanasati meditation, which guided by Patriji. And she says claims that her this journey, this meditation has enriched her spiritual journey. So today is our, as part of the 21-day meditation for beginners challenge. Today is 15th day and the topic is 4 agreements. Arunachaleshwari garu, please, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Namaste, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity and a happy Guru Purnami and Amrutotsavam of Patriji today. We have celebrated Amrutotsavam here in Dallas. So it's an auspicious occasion of Guru Purnami. On this day, taking our journey forward, let's go through the book, The 4 Agreements. This was one of my first books that I've read after getting involved with PSSM. It's a beautiful book, very written in a very simple words and easy to follow. It's written by one of the Toltecs. So let me first tell you about Toltecs. They were scientists and they were the artists. They formed a group of men and women, a society where they explored and they conserved the spiritual knowledge and practices of the ancient ones. Don Miguel Ruiz is the author of this book, and he's one of the Toltec masters from the Eagle Knight lineage. He has been guided to share with us this knowledge and teachings of the Toltecs. So in this book, he starts telling about a person who got enlightened and understood that every speck and particle on this earth is God and nothing else. So after he got enlightened, he understood that everything is God. There is no other difference between me and you. He could see everything, the reflection of him, like he could see himself in others. He knew everything is made of light, and that everything that exists is one living being. So this was his understanding after he got enlightened. So he used to say that it's like light is seeing light. It's like love is seeing love. He said we are all love. He tries to explain this to the people around him. And as he could see himself in others, he tried to explain the same thing to them. But they said they could not understand what he was saying. And because they could not see themselves in him, they said, we can see there is some change in you. There is some spark in your eyes. We could see that something in you has changed and you're radiating with light, but we are not there yet. We don't understand what you're saying. So he said there is in this book, he explains that the reason why others could not see themselves in him was because there was a wall of fog or smoke between everyone. He called everyone as mirrors. He said there is a wall of fog, and that wall of fog was made by the interpretations or by the perceptions or the images of light. So, and there's a beautiful quote written in this book. It goes like, it says, it is living is easy with eyes closed and misunderstanding all that you see. It was written by John Lennon in this book. And this book is going to give us the clarity of seeing everything around us. It is going to give us the clear understanding of how should be our clarity when we look at something. So in this book, after explaining about this person who got enlightened, he talks about domestication. He says domestication and the dream of the planet. He says what you're seeing right now and what you're hearing is nothing but a dream. He says humans are all dreaming all the time. And before we were born, there were humans before us. I mean, our parents or grandparents or the generations before us, they have created a big outside dream. Because what he says is whatever we see and we hear is all a dream. So he says how this started was the people before us who were born before us, they created all this. He says everybody has got their own personal dreams. Like they created a dream about family, they created a dream of community, a society, and finally a whole humanity. He says they formed rules, they formed beliefs, they formed religions, laws, different cultures, and the ways how the government should be, how schools should be. So all these were already formed by the people who were born before us. And we, after we were born, we started believing all of them as truth. We started just following the same thing that, okay, this is the culture. Okay, this is right. Okay, this is how we should go to school. This is government. We started believing and we started following the same path, what was already laid before us. And the adults around us, they hooked our attention and put information into our minds through repetition. Like, for example, how does a child learn to speak? Through repetition. We make the child repeat the words. We make the child trace the letters and teach them the letters. We make the child to speak a language. That is also through repetition. So everything happens through repetition. So adults make children follow their paths through repetition. So when a child is born, she or he is not given, he's not given a freedom to think for herself of who she is. As children, we didn't have the opportunity to choose or choose our beliefs or to follow our own path. All information was, passed on to us through repetition of what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. All this information has been fed into our mind through repetition. So that's how children learned. And we believed, as children, we believed everything what adults said because we had faith in them. Because we knew they love us and we knew that whatever they say is right. So that's how the strong belief in them controlled our belief system. So that's how the author says our whole dream of life was controlled. Because whatever we see, we speak, or hear is all a dream. That's how our dream of life was controlled by these faiths and the beliefs that were put into our minds through our elders, or we can say the adults. The author calls this process of us as kids believing everything and following the same thing as the process of domestication of humans. As a child, when the child is not given freedom to choose his own path, and through repetitions, the beliefs were put into their mind, this whole process is called as domestication of the humans. Because these children grow up to be the citizens, to be the future generations, but not with their own identity, not with their own belief of their dream of life. So this is called as the domestication of the humans. And he says we pretend to be what we are not because we are afraid of being rejected. Because of all these beliefs and all this controlled process being fed into us, we try to become who we are not because we are afraid of being rejected. What if if adults say this is not right, and what if I say it is right? It's a controversy there. So nobody actually try to go against that. Eventually, we become someone that we are not. So what do we become? We become a copy of our mom's belief, of our teacher's beliefs, of our dad's beliefs. Finally, cultural, society's beliefs, religion's beliefs. We become a copy of that, not putting our own thoughts or our own identity into it. We just become their copies. So one more thing that is fed into child's mind that is that how he should be. Like he should try to become better every time. Because a child is never made to think that you are good the way you are. No, they don't. Adults say, no, you should try to become better. Always, you should try to be excelling in everything. In this way, when a child is not let to think for himself or herself, with these beliefs, they form a book of law in their mind. Like within themselves, they have all these rules mentioned, like what is good, what is bad, what is accepted as per society, what is beautiful, what is right, what is ugly. All these definitions, they form a book of rule in their mind because these have been put into them since the time they were born to do this, to do not to do that, to do be this way, not to be that way. So they form a book of um, law, a book of law within themselves, and they start judging everything based on this book of law, because having this book of law in their mind, it makes them feel safe. They start judging weather, they start judging animals, they start judging their own beliefs. Like with that book of beliefs, they form a system that okay, if I have this information with me, this book of law in me, then I feel safe. If I go according to this, then I'm in the right direction. That's what the child follows. And it doesn't stop there. While judging everybody else, the child also starts judging themselves. Like the child thinks, oh, am I good? Am I beautiful? Am I tall enough? Am I fair? Am I smart? Am I handsome? So if he did this correctly um, or not, I mean to say, following this rules, the law of, the book of law, according to that, he also starts judging himself. And this keeps going on always inside that child's mind because it has been repeatedly put into him and he has formed that law. So these judgments become stronger and stronger inside the child's mind day by day. And to come out of these, we need to make few agreements with ourselves. So this book is all about those agreements. The author says, there are thousands of agreements you have made with yourself, with other people, with the dream of your life, with God, with society. All these, as children, as children, when we grow up with these law of book of law, we have made so many agreements with society, with spouse, with your partner, with children. But the most important ones are those which you make with yourself, which one makes with themselves. They are the most important ones. So what you feel, what you like to do, what you want to do, what are your likes, dislikes, that is called, that becomes your personality. And in these agreements, you say, this is what I am, this is what I believe, I can do few things, I like to do few things, and this is possible, this is not possible. So these are the few things few agreements which we make with ourselves. There are many agreements which we make with everyone, but the agreements which we make with ourselves are the most important one, is what the author says. And if you want to live a life of joy and fulfillment, you have to find the courage to break those agreements which are fear-based and which claim your personal power. We need a very strong will in order to adopt these 4 agreements which are written in this book. And by starting to live our life with these agreements, we will see the transformation. I mean, it's going to be amazing. They sound very simple, but once we start following them, we will come out of all the fears in our life. So let's start with these agreements. The first agreement is, it sounds very simple. It is, be impeccable with your word. This is the first agreement. Be impeccable with your word. It's simple, but very powerful. Because word is the power that we have to create. We can create wonders with our words. Like Patriji says, Vakshetram. So it's the word that we speak.
Mama, I want to play the hands.
1 second. Yeah, I'm sorry. So be impeccable with your words is a very simple agreement that we can make with ourselves, yet it's very powerful because words are the power that we have to create. We can make creations with our words because we express our thoughts, we express our creative power through our words, and we manifest it. And we manifest everything with our words. Thank you. We are the only species who can communicate in several languages. If you have observed, human is the only species that has the ability to communicate in various languages. Word power we have is to express and to communicate, to think, and thereby to create events in your life, to manifest things. So we have to use our word power very wisely because the word is most powerful tool we have as humans, and it's the tool of magic. And it's a pure magic. If we misuse this magic, it becomes like a black magic. You see the difference? Word power is a pure magic, but when misused, it acts like black magic. Word is so powerful that one word can change a life or destroy the lives of million people. Every human is a magician, and we can either put a spell on somebody with our words, or we can release them from a spell. That's how the magic can be used, through words. Misuse of the word can be without knowing that word is a magic at all. So if we know that word is a magic, we will never misuse it. So author wants us to know that word power is very magical. So we have to be very impeccable with our words. So he explains an example in this book. He says, there's a woman who's very intelligent and she has a very good heart. She has a daughter, and she loves her daughter very much. She adores her. But one day she comes home at night. She comes home from a very tiring and a very bad day at work. She's full of, emotional tensions, and she has a terrible headache. And that night, after returning home, she wanted to, peacefully take a nap or just to be in a quiet time. So after she comes home and she's tired and she wants to take rest, her daughter, she doesn't know what's going on with her mother because she was very little, and she was happy playing in her own world. She was dancing and singing, and she was singing loudly. But the mother was like, she wanted to sleep, she wanted to take rest, she wanted some quiet time for herself. But the daughter was singing so loud that it made her mother's headache even worse. And at a certain moment, the mother lost control. And she says, she looks at her daughter and she says, "Will you please stop? You're singing so ugly. Your voice is not good at all. It's terrible. Can you please stop? My head is aching. My headache is becoming worse." And hearing this, the daughter thinks, "Oh, my voice is so ugly." She believes her mother. But the truth is that mother's tolerance for the noise was not present. It was non-existent. It was not that the little girl's voice was ugly, but it was her mother's tolerance was less. But the daughter believed what her mother said. The daughter believed at the same moment when she said, and she made an agreement with herself. The daughter made an agreement with herself that, okay, my mom said, she knows, the daughter knows that her mother loves her very much with herself, and the daughter knows that whatever the mom says is truth, because that's what she has been learning every time from her mother. So she made an agreement with herself that she would never sing again. And she believed that her voice was ugly and it would bother others. So that day, after she made that agreement, she refused to sing at all. And whenever anybody would ask her to sing, she would shy away. She would not sing. And she never opened her, singing side to anybody. So this way, in order to be accepted and loved, whenever we hear an opinion, we start believing it. And we make it an agreement, and it becomes a part of our belief system. So the little girl grew up, and even though she had a beautiful voice, she never sang. And she developed this whole complex from one spell that was cast on her by her loving mother. And why did this happen? Because the mother was not aware of her words. Because mother did not know what's the power of her words. And she put a spell on daughter, and she didn't know the power of her word. So looking at every human interactions, imagine how many times we cast spell on each other with our words. Over time, these interactions have become worst from black magic, and we call it gossip. Even gossip does the same thing. Gossip acts as a black magic. And it's worse because it is a pure poison. Gossiping has become, these days, it has become a main form of communications in human society. And, it has become the way we feel that close to each other, because it makes us feel better to see someone else feel as badly as we do. So gossip can actually be compared to a computer virus, where the virus is a piece of computer programming language, which is also written in the same language, like the computer actual coding is done, but virus is done for a different purpose. So human gossip works exactly the same way. It's it lets the poison enter into us, just like the virus enters into the computer, being in the same language, but with the intention of spoiling the computer or stopping it from functioning at all. So the human gossip works the same way. Hence, the first agreement is one should make you should make you want to be if you want to be free, and if you want to be happy, you need to, and if you want to transcend from the level of existence we are in, this is the first agreement we need to make, that is, be impeccable with your words. Moving on to the second agreement, it is don't take anything personally. This is the second agreement. We do not need to take anything to our heart. Taking it seriously and taking it to your heart means accepting it, letting the poison enter into ourselves. Neither good nor bad, nothing should be taken to our heart. In this case, when mother said this, daughter being young, she took it to her heart. She let the poison enter into herself, and hence it worked as poison. Had the daughter been aware of mother's words and not let that go into herself, had she not taken it seriously, it would not have impacted her, and she would have had her own confidence always. So Don Miguel, what he used to do is, even if someone complimented him, he would just say okay, and he would move on without taking it to the heart. Or even if somebody says some bad comment, like even if he says, oh Miguel, you're troubling me, you're hurting me, what you say is not right, he would still not take it to his heart. He would just listen to it, say okay, and he would move on. We should understand that our mind has unlimited powers, and it is in this realm. The mind is in this realm, it is also in the higher realms at the same time. And the mind can hear all the sounds. Most of the people neglect these voices. These voices that we hear in our mind. But we should learn to listen to these sounds. Don't take anything personally, because taking things personally to yourself means letting the suffering. I mean, we are setting ourselves to suffer for nothing. So Miguel says these sounds which we hear in our head sometimes are also from different realms. So we should know which sounds we should consider and which we do not need to. So that is possible only when we meditate more. This clairvoyance, clairaudience, these are clairs. So when Miguel says this capability is with everyone, it means these sounds from different realms are power that we have. This is the power of our mind. So he says, when you make it a strong habit to not take anything personally, we are avoiding many upsets in our life, like anger, jealousy, envy. These are different emotions which will disappear. Or even sadness, it will simply disappear if you don't take things personally. If we stop taking others' comments personally, and if we can make this second agreement a habit, we will find that nothing can put us back into into this tension or emotional turmoil, or these different kinds of emotions that we spoke about, the anger, envy, hurt. These all happen only when we take things seriously, when we let everything go into our heart. So someone can intentionally and emotionally, they can poison us, but that cannot impact us until we don't take it personally, until we don't eat that poison, until we don't let it go into our heart. So that's the second agreement. Don't take anything personally. The third agreement is don't make assumptions. It is very simple, sounding very simple, but this will bring a very huge change in our lives if we stop making assumptions. So because we always have the tendency to make assumptions about everything. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe that the assumptions are truth without getting them clarified. We delve into our own thoughts and start making assumptions. So all the sadness and all the drama that we have lived in our life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. So we have this habit of dreaming with no basis in reality. We literally dream things in our imagination, thinking, for example, wife thinks her spouse should know about her and should get everything according to her likes. That's general tendency. We say, oh, you should have known that I don't like this, or you should have known I want that. So this is all assumptions. We assume that they know everything, but it is best lived when we communicate clearly. When we have a clear communication, then we burst this bubble of assumptions. So when we have a clear communication, that is when the truth comes out. So making assumptions in our relationships is really like asking for problems. So that's about making assumptions. And these assumptions are made, sometimes they are made so fast and unconsciously most of the time, because we have agreements to communicate this way. We have made these agreements with ourselves to communicate this way. Just imagine that the day when we stop making assumptions with our partners and eventually with everyone else around us, what would happen? Everything will change completely. The communications will become transparent, clear, more meaningful. There will be no longer any suffering or conflicts created by mistaken assumptions. So the way to keep yourself from making assumptions is to ask questions. Without making assumption, we should ask. Make sure the communication is clear. And if we do not understand, we should ask questions. We need to have that courage to ask questions until the things become as clear as they can be. So by making this one agreement a habit, whole life will completely transform. That is making assumptions. Do not make assumptions. The fourth agreement is always do your best. So there is this one last agreement is the one that allows the other three to become deeply ingrained habits. The fourth agreement is about the action of the first three. It is always do your best. Under any circumstance, we need to always give our best. But we should also remember that giving our best is never going to be the same from one moment to the next. What is best for me today may not be the best thing to do tomorrow. So it changes from time, and it also changes from person to person. What I think is the best to do in a project may differ to some other person. He might think, okay, no, we could do it in a different way. So giving our best is not same in all the situations and to all the people. It differs from time to time. So we should also remember that as it is not constant for everyone, everything is alive and changing all the time. Because you can think of any work that you have done. The best will sometimes be a high quality, And the other times it may not be of the same level quality. It could be, it may not be as good as you did previously. So doing your best, you're giving your life. I mean, it means we are living our life intensely, completely. When suppose you have to, let's say a mother is cooking, and if she wants to give her best, she would cook that dish with full love, and she would taste it. Only when she finds the taste is perfect, that is the best for her. So um, so that way, suppose if she is not well, then her best is changing there. She would give how much ever she can. So the measurement of the best is not the same always. And by giving our best, we are going to be productive. We are going to be good to ourselves. Because when we give our best, we are giving our best to our family, to ourselves, to our community, to everything. Whatever do, if we are doing it our best, then tomorrow when we are questioned, like when we are asked after we vacate our body, at least we have an answer that we gave our best. So to always give our best, it needs for us to take an action. Just by talking, it cannot happen. It happens only when we take action. Most people do exactly opposite. They only take action when they expect a reward and they don't enjoy that action. For example, if somebody is doing a job which they don't like for earning money, let's say they get paid by the end of the week, though they do not enjoy the process of earning the money. When they earn the money, they spend it. Let's say in the weekend, they go out or they do something. They would still have like in their mind, oh, tomorrow again, I have to go back to work. So they're not enjoying the process. They're not enjoying what they are doing. They are just working for money. So they cannot even enjoy when they are spending that money. The weekend, they are spending, but they're not enjoying it. So they are doing because they are expecting the reward of money or the payment that they get. Yeah, so that was about all the 4 agreements. If you are impeccable with your word, if you don't take anything personally, you don't make assumptions, and you always give your best, these are going to make our life very beautiful. And we will be in a place that we are controlling our life 100%. So it's so simple and logical that even a child can understand these things, but it needs a very strong will and a determination to keep up these agreements and follow them in our life. Because our path is always of whenever we start something new, we get so many obstacles. And if you think of starting an agreement one fine day, but if you break it after like 2 or 3 days, it's okay. We can go back and we begin again. So we always begin again tomorrow. So it is like again the next day you start over again. So it will be difficult at first, but author says each day will become easier and easier until someday when we discover that we are mastering all these, and it has surprisingly transformed our life. So this is how author has explained all these 4 agreements. Let's try to put them in our life, into action, and practice them in our life. So that was about this book. They are very simple agreements, yet very powerful. I have gone way beyond the time. Does anybody want to say something or any questions? Okay. If we do not have any questions, then we can start meditation. Please sit comfortably. If you're wearing glasses, please take them off. Close your eyes. Lock your fingers. Cross your feet. Become one with our breath. Watch your natural, tranquil, peaceful, easy breath.
Last 2 minutes, friends.
Last 1 minute. Slowly come back to the body consciousness. Come back to your senses. Please place your hands on your closed eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Slowly remove your hands and open your eyes with a smile. Thank you everyone for your presence. Does anybody want to share your meditation experience? Thank you for joining. See you all tomorrow again.
Thank you, Aruna. Wonderful meditation and amazing session about 4 agreements and the basic, as you said, like, all of us meditators or whoever is in this journey, or even a human being, they should first follow the 4 agreements. That's where the journey starts. Wonderfully explained about all the 4 agreements. Thank you so much. And we loved your daughter coming and disturbing. Why don't she say hi to us?
And say hi. Come. Say hi. Say hi, Meena.
Hi. Hi.
You want to see even my kids come. My kids come into the session. See, they want to be part of it. They come and say hi. You want to see? Let me remove my. There we go. What is your name?
What's your name? Tell.
Can you tell?
Meenakshi.
Meenakshi? Wow. Wow. Wonderful name, Meenakshi. See, this is Tiyansh and this is Tanmay.
Hi.
Do you also meditate?
No.
No?
Why?
Don't? So today she did not. She had a fight with her brother. That's why she came to me. That was meditation class going on.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Meenakshi. Thank you for your energies. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone wants to just share? Ratna, take over now.
Yes, Harika. Arna, it was beautiful. This morning, from past 1 week, some session that I have attended in a week ago, and what the topic that we had that I spoke with Harika this morning was all about books. She suggested that I should read books, and one of the 21-day challenge, one of the days was about Swadhyayam, reading books. So your topic was an extension of that, and you specifically picked this book, which is a very nice book, because all the 4 basics that you said that we should be practicing is very logical. Because as you said, we live our lives based on what rules that have been that have been made in the past, right? They would have created based on their selfish reasons. That is tremendously impacting our lives in a negative way now. So it was a very right book that you picked. Thank you so much. And again, Harika, she was suggesting that I read books, because I know I've never read. I mean, I'm not taking that time, and thank you for this book. So, yeah.
Actually, it was already mentioned in the sheet, the 4 agreements. So I thought, why not? I didn't pick this, but it was already there, because this is the basic book everybody is asked to read, all the meditators. And it's a very simple book, written very in a simple language, and a small book. Yeah.
I think I'll read this book. Also, just that Harika suggested, maybe this can be the starting book for me. So, thank you.
Yes, Charita, the name of the book is The 4 Agreements. Okay, yeah, the answer is given. Thank you for this opportunity. It was a great meditation on this auspicious day.
Thank you, Aruna. I so loved you taking time twice for us and coming here and sharing all your knowledge.
Yeah, I am
Really lovely.
clearing my Vishuddha Chakra. No, it is always when we give, we should also think what we get.
Right.
I'm getting a lot. It's not just giving, I'm also getting a lot.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, you're right, Dineshi. Now it will be easy. We have heard about it first. Now it will be easy. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Ratna, you want to conclude?
Yes. If anyone has any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we can conclude this session for tonight. Thank you, Annagara, again, once again, for talking about the 4 agreements tonight. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you.
Have a good night. We